changes from last time out. What do you like?
Well, I like the fact that their 4-4-2, the traditional tactical lineup here, is going to be connected between Wigan, Kelly, and Brown up top. LaGrasse is going to do a lot of midfielder work, so it's going to be exceptional, classic style here.
Reno coming off a heart-wrenching 2-2 draw against Colorado Springs and a bye week. For Phoenix, also off a bye week and with a new coach, only one change it was required. Cody Wakasa out with a red card. AJ Gray slots in.
Yeah, everyone else comes in, obviously getting to know each other. Sean Wright, obviously a lot of experience with Omar Bravo up top. Chris Cortez, Luke Rooney, I mean, a lot of experience coming together.
For Phoenix, they come from the jaws of defeat. Mike Watson, Albert Munoz with you, as this really does look like an exciting offensive game. Neither of these teams have struggled to score this year.
Well, I mean, it's going to be very tough for them to struggle with these attacking players. You have players like Kelly, who has an abundance of experience, Bravo, who's world-renowned, Cortez. I mean, all these players are going to keep scoring goals in these leagues. With a pitch like this, Mike, I mean, exceptional pitch. It looks perfect. I mean, I can't see a bad bounce for any of these attackers, so we're looking for a lot of opportunities tonight.
No, pristine tonight at Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex. A sellout crowd was anticipated, and it is hot tonight in Phoenix. There are projected to be hydration breaks in both the first half and the second half. That means the temperature well above 90 degrees field side, and it's perhaps part of the reason why the crowd begins a little thin. Wright Phillips tries to go to the back heel.
It's very important based on the weather. That type of temperature, you want to make sure that players, they take their time to really get knee deep into this game. They have to understand that they don't want to exhaust themselves early on into the game. A lot of touches, a lot of spreading in the field. That's going to be important to make sure that they keep their energy levels up.
And meanwhile, Albert Munoz here, who at a time was the second youngest player in MLS, is laughing pregame at the thought of a hydration break when MLS started.
You have to understand that just never happened. I mean, maybe when I was a youth player playing under 6 or 7, we had a couple of stops during the game, but at 15 to 25, I never had a hydration break.
Matt Bersano will bring the ball back. This is 5th start. He's made 16 saves through 4 games.
That's so important to have a goalkeeper that you have a lot of confidence in. I mean, just in the last game I was calling, players that really support their team, they provide leadership. That's always going to be helpful for the mindset and the mentality for the team going into that game.
Between he and Cohen, there's plenty of that on the field here tonight. Dane Kelly carries the ball ahead into an attacking position. He scored in the 2nd minute. Dane Kelly, goal number 51, and he extends his own USL goal-scoring record. Well, the fireworks have started early in Phoenix tonight.
As we see this replay, we were just talking to the player to watch. What an exceptional lead-up. What a great strike. I mean, you can't ask for more for your striker to come off in the 2nd minute and score a goal right off the bat. Excellent strike and beautiful goal.
Not a bad celebration either. Well, this is not a good moment for Phoenix when you consider that they allowed 3 goals in the last 15 minutes against Swope Park and then concede in the 2nd minute against Reno. This locker room, they talked about it after the game, and speaking with the interim head coach, Rick Jeans, coming into the game, he said the veterans were not happy with a 4-3 win because you had a 4-goal lead with 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, it's kind of unacceptable at the end of the day. I mean, you need to make sure you keep your defensive prowess, up the whole game. I mean, even if you score 10 goals, but you give up 7 goals, that's not right. So I agree with Coach. I mean, and the veteran players, they need to make sure that they always keep their level up no matter what to the last minute of the game.
Vasquez tosses it in the 4th minute of play. Comes now to Mfeka, South Africa's first MLS player in quite some time, when he was taken by San Jose and loaned out to Reno. Quick throw in by Yule. Yule sends service. Nodded away for Phoenix.
I'm interested, Mike, to see how Phoenix reacts to this goal. It's tough when you get scored on the first minute. You're just starting. I mean, you haven't, most of your players haven't even touched the ball. How do you react to that? I mean, it's very important to see how they do, because that's going to implement the pace for the rest of the game for Phoenix.
LaGrassa, former Sacramento Republic man. There's a couple of those on this roster. Kip Colvey also hails from that neck of the woods professionally as play coming back. Ramage, the captain for this Phoenix side, knocking the ball over the end line as play going back 30 yards upfield. A throw for Phoenix Rising. Out to midfield and past Regi. Hopino. And here's LaGrassa. Hopino, former FC Cincinnati man, a bit of a surprising move to right back for him coming off the bye week.
Yeah, so far in the first 4 minutes, Mike, Reno has really taken over. I mean, they've touched the ball well. They've already scored a goal. They've obviously held on well, and they keep going at it. So, I mean, Phoenix really needs to step up.
Played across the face of goal. Stewart blasts it away. First it was Brown, then it was Ewell. To your point, of course.
They're essentially going to have to start, picking up the pace. They really need to grab the ball. They need to hold. Their key players get a touch on the ball. Bravo, come on. Cortez, come on. Hopefully they obviously get together before they get another goal.
Brown, Kelly, that's 2 in 6 minutes.
Wow.
His second brace of the year, and Dane Kelly, not just his 51st, now his 52nd. Whoa.
To my point, Phoenix needs to step up defensively, and Kelly just needs to keep on playing, because everything he touches turns into goal. As you see this replay, exceptional. With the right foot in the first goal, left foot shot, perfectly placed in the right-hand corner, unstoppable shot. Great lead up here by the Jamaican striker, Kelly.
I think most people coming in thought it would be the other number 9 who would make the biggest impact in the first 10 minutes, but Dane Kelly has been shot out of a cannon in this affair for Reno.
You are right. That's so important for the team's momentum and confidence. I mean, everything they're going to do now is play it to Kelly because he's on fire, and that's what you want in a striker.
Phoenix now, the entire game is flipped over now, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what they're really going to try to do now. I mean, they ideally just want to grab the ball. They want to have some possession first. They want to ground themselves and get those players, the key players, to touch the ball. Maybe come off a wall pass, maybe create something, but Omar Bravo hasn't touched the ball.
Not yet. Pressure moving in there for Phoenix, and ultimately produces the turnover. Cortez pushed from behind, and maybe a golden opportunity now for Phoenix in the 8th minute. As 2 early goals, the 2nd minute and the 6th. And Dane Kelly has put this entire game on its head. The former Charleston Battery man, last year with Swope Park, reached the USL Cup final. And maybe now Bersano will be the one under pressure.
It's a dangerous shot here by Rooney. I mean, he's going to have an opportunity to get the first free kick for Phoenix. He's known for his free kick specialty. Well, they switched it on him. Wow.
Bersano makes the save, and Cortez is the one who takes it.
Surprising, left foot in-swinger. Great shot, almost an upper 90 shot there. Great block by Reno's goalie, Bersano.
Well, maybe that's the shot in the arm that Phoenix needed. Now Rooney will get a chance on a set piece.
Well, thankfully we're 8 minutes in. Plenty of time.
Rooney headed back in by Cortez. And that back out to the right-hand side as it went off of Regi. Rooney serves opposite post, and a little too much juice.
Going back to Kelly and his shots, I mean, both goals were almost identical shots. Low-stricken, powerful shots. I mean, this pitch is so nice. I mean, it must be nice and wet. It's been watered, so that ball is going to go at a faster pace. So it's going to be tough for the goalie to come down and defend. So, I mean, impressive 2 shots 2 goals from Kelly right on the onset.
There he is, chatting with his strike partner. It's a 4-4-2 for this group. He's been working with Brown, who set him up on the second goal. That ball chested to Regi, and then knocked out. Speaking last year with Mark Dos Santos, who was the head man for Swope Park and led that group from the middle of the standings into the playoffs, into the USL Cup final, said, honestly, Dane Kelly just didn't train well early on in his career, and it may have stunted his growth a bit, but his USL production is second to none in a very literal sense.
If only he had trained, he said. I mean, that's absolutely true. I mean, it could hinder your growth. I mean, just like anything else in life, right? I mean, if you don't practice, if you don't work well, you're not going to develop.
Brown slid to the left-hand side. A third save by Cohen. He held on. And Chris Wien was looking for his first of the year, his first pro goal, but Cohen up to the task.
What an exceptional lead up by Brown on the right-hand side. Great pass into the middle. I mean, Reno's really developing play really well early on in this game. I mean, making it very difficult for Phoenix to defend.
Well, maybe that's a bit of a turning point for this Phoenix side that is conceded now 5 goals in about 25 game minutes.
Wow.
Since that red card to Cody Wakasa against Swope Park. Does it carry from game to game when you begin to get a little defensively out of place?
Well, yeah. I mean, the confidence is lost. I mean, I guess you depend on your attacking prowess. You depend on your players to come and score goals, even though you're getting scored on. So it does roll over. I mean, you just have to get a couple good games, solid games defensively to really get that momentum going.
Rooney plays it wide, cross in towards right. Phillips, Regi, and the ball kicked away from him in the nick of time. Another opportunity for Vasquez, kept by Cortez. And blasted off the foot of the defense of Hopino, and it's a corner to Phoenix.
It's great promise here from Phoenix. I mean, it's showing a little bit more energy now that they're down 2-0. They really have to step it up. Hopefully we see these players connect, such as the man who's taking the corner kick right now, Sean Wright, has so much experience in the Premiership. Growing up, we used to watch him. He's one of the most energetic players I've ever seen. He's only 5'6", but he had so much speed, and he has speed. He brings a lot of element of experience here for Phoenix.
Right, Phillips quite nearly finding Ramage. And there's Bravo, a bit of gamesmanship, putting the ball right on the line for Bersano at the top of your screen. And Bersano wanted it on the other side, maybe a bit of gamesmanship of his own.
The former Chivas player, I mean, I also grew up watching him. I mean, exceptional talent, Bravo. So many goals for the Mexican side. I really hope he connects well here with Cortez up front and really puts on a show for the local crowd.
Kelly will give chase. Here's Cohen now. Who were the players? You were in MLS as a teenager. Who did you watch to kind of develop your game?
Well, globally, I mean, I always had a fascination with the attacking midfielders of those generations, which are first Pelé and then Maradona, Diego Maradona, the Argentine, obviously as corrupt and controversial he's always been, but as a player, he's always been top-notch for me. Valderrama, who was an MLSer as well, also an idol growing up, Colombian. So I had a couple of really, really known players to really look up to.
Right, Phillips trying to play Cortez. That's just a bit too far for him. You know, you could have said Drogba or you could have said Bravo, but they're strikers. They're not for you.
There's so many, but you're right. I mean, Drogba came later. I mean, Drogba playing for Chelsea for so many years. I mean, he's someone that we looked up to. But Bravo's even younger. He's maybe, I think, like 8 years younger than I am. So, I mean, it's a different generation that we looked up to.
Yeah, you've exposed your age, young man.
I just did. Oh, that's a great nutmeg there.
Brown quite nearly got through that Phoenix defense. Cohen takes over again. His numbers this year are great, but the last 30 minutes or so have not been good to him.
Well, in his defense, I mean, it's tough to defend those 2 shots. I mean, those are well-striked shots. I mean, you can't stop those unless you have a defender that really ricochets it off. But as a goalie, you're almost defenseless against those type of shots from Dane Kelly.
That's an obvious handball against Jackson Ewell, who wasn't in the 18 last time around after starting the first 4. Vasquez. That's a nice move to get around Hapano. Ball nearly ricocheted to Cortez, who tried to step in there as well. Phoenix buzzing now. Stop that man. Goals in the 2nd and 6th. Dane Kelly, number 9 in gray.
I like how Reno comes out from the back. They really know how to open up well with their defenders out wide. I mean, getting the ball to the target man up front to hold it, help the play to develop. They really have formation in place when it comes to coming out from the back, this Reno side.
And it's the midfielder by trade, Hapano, who puts it in play. The Frenchman who last year played for John Harkes in Cincinnati. One of the cornerstones of the franchise in the offseason as Reno built a roster from scratch. Cortez can't catch up. And the ball aimed towards Ramage, who collects it.
Speaking of John Harkes and age, I mean, John Harkes is one of those players that we looked up to as a U.S. national team player, along with Tab Ramos. They were all in the league when I was playing. They were the veterans. And to think that now they have kids, they have their children playing in either USL or MLS teams, it's exceptional. There's a 20-year gap there, and that's insane that they're developing that well. I just called the game where Ariel Lassiter's playing now. That's Roy Lassiter's son. Roy Lassiter, I played with him in the Miami Fusion. I mean, he was my veteran. So it's great to see that former MLS players and World Cup veterans have kids that are playing these leagues now.
It really is remarkable. Is Ian Harkes, the Wake Forest man, playing with DC United and drawing some oohs and ahs from his dad, who's was just in Atlanta watching him play last week. Hapano ripped down by Vasquez. Ian Russell is calling for a card. And is that the direction that our referee, Joseph Dickerson, will go?
He's giving him a warning. That should have been a yellow card.
Hey! Hey! Let him get in position! Hey!
Well, Joseph Dickerson will have a quick talk over here as well.
I remember Ian Russell in the MLS as well. Gritty player, a hard worker, playing for San Jose for many years.
Yeah, played for Frank Yallop, who, of course, resigned before the bye week. The assistant for this Phoenix side, Rich Shantz, stepping into the headman role during the off week. Watson played around that same time as Russell. Ball bounces down. Wright Phillips finding Bravo. Across the face, a goal over. Rigi knocked over by Cortez. Oh, the goal mouth was yawning for Cortez to put Phoenix back in it.
Exceptional lead up by Watson. Up the midfielder, he played it out wide, and we got a great cross and combination play by Wright Phillips and Omar Bravo, but unfortunately it cannot be capitalized by Phoenix. But they're getting there, and this game is way too early to say that Reno is obviously going to be convincing in a win. We have 17 minutes in, and we have these type of plays from Phoenix, so it's showing a lot of promise on their side.
This Phoenix team coming off just one of the most demoralizing losses you could get, as they've been off since the 22nd of April. They allowed a goal in the final seconds against Colorado Springs at home. That could have been their first USL win. They've come so very close multiple times. And Ian Russell has a good roster of experienced veterans. It's not a matter of when, it's a matter of just how soon it will occur, not if.
Sure, Mike. I mean, it takes time. I mean, to develop, you know, within early in the season, I mean, you have a lot of new players and you have a lot of formation struggles. It's difficult to concede goals at the last minute, but again, it's early on in the season. You have obviously the momentum going for the first 4, 5, 6 games. So it's a matter of time where all these teams really start meshing well.
Kelly, through ball, left-hand side, shot is... Dane Kelly, who struck from there several times, played it into an offside position, but very easily could have had a whack for a third.
The question is, should he have taken that shot or should he have crossed it into the middle? Because it was either neither or. I mean, he looked like he tried to take a shot, but he regretted it at the last minute. He tried to hit a cross, so maybe he had to make a better decision there for Reno.
Brought down by LaGrassa, but comes to Wright Phillips. Gray. Wide by Cortez. Wright Phillips. Here's Gray in for the suspended Cody Wakasa. And of course, a big change during this off week, as in came Jordan Gibbons, the former QPR man. Be interesting to see whether or not he will factor in the not-so-distant future. Hey fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on SiriusXM FC Channel 85. Don't forget, SiriusXM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Mike Watts with Albert Munoz, 20 minutes in. Dane Kelly scoring in the second and the sixth. The chances even since then, but Reno a quick 2-goal lead in this one.
They capitalized those 2 quick opportunities. They're up 2-0. Phoenix, I definitely see a Rooney having to step up in the midfielder to really make a difference. As an attacking midfielder, you have to make sure that your presence is felt. You have to make sure that you know your team has confidence in you to get the ball to you and hold the ball well. But if not, it's going to be difficult to catch some momentum for Phoenix.
Knocked back by LaGrassa. One of many Cal Poly players on this roster. They're everywhere. For both these teams, there's Cal Poly guys. It really is remarkable. We mentioned Cody Wakasa being out this week. He's a Cal Poly guy.
It's a reunion.
That's right. Rooney, to your point, stepping right in on Kelly. Cohen gets it before Brian Brown arrives on the scene. Regi had a great goal against Swope Park last time out. Rooney, a nice ball into Wright Phillips, gets it back. Rooney, a left-footed blast. It's up and left of the bar.
There he is. More of that. We need more of that from Rooney. We need him to get involved, link up with players like Sean Wright. I can't imagine why those 2 Englishmen won't link up on every type of pass to link up a through ball for Bravo, who you know very well if you put him in the right situation, he'll most likely put it in the goal.
There's Rooney, 3 goals and an assist thus far for the Englishman, who dealt with injury. Spoke with our Jose Bosch before the game about it, but appears to look a lot closer to 100% than he does 0 now. Papano's pass, not a great first touch, but ultimately recovers and glides up the wing against Stewart. Make it Watson who knocks it over.
That was a well-drawn-out foul by Hoppin. I mean, he knew he was in the corner. He didn't have much help or assistance. So, hey, why not draw a free kick for our team and hopefully get someone to connect on the aerial battle in the 18-yard box.
Here's Yule, the 6th overall pick in the 2017 Super Draft of San Jose, a Generation Adidas guy who played on the West Coast with UCLA and gets to stay there with Reno, now on loan. He stands to the right, but it's Wien who curls the ball towards the net. LaGrassa's looking for a call, but the play is still alive. Regi, a shove on the end line and a goal kick to Phoenix. Well, Phoenix protecting a 2-game home winning streak in Game 3 of a 4-game homestand, but Reno, starved for a win, has come out of the gates blasting. Vasquez, Regi, Rooney. Vasquez up the left-hand wing, a high arcing cross that goes out over the end line. Nothing there in the 24th minute. Lozano signed a multi-year deal with San Jose on loan. Last year with Sounders 2. Was a trialist for the organization. Simply impressed enough. The Oregon State to Penn State transfer in his collegiate days in goal. Regi keeps the ball in play for Wright Phillips. The pass for Bravo, cut out. Morel goes long. This game is available using the SAP button and Espanol. Or for those of you joining us in English, Mike Watts with Albert Munoz into the 25th minute as Reno holds a 2-goal lead. Brown, an excellent touch. Brown streaking, collides with Stewart, held by Cohen. Fair challenge?
Yeah, fair challenge. So far, I mean, Mike, I was going to make a comment in reference to possession. I mean, both teams are holding the ball well now. Phoenix is really settled in their midfield with Watson and Rooney linking up. Rooney stepped up a little bit, started getting a little bit more involved, showing his presence, which is very, very important for Phoenix if they want to capitalize on Omar, Bravo, or Cortez up top. But on the flip side, Reno, Hopena, obviously Weehan in the middle, linking up with Brown and Kelly up top. I mean, they're doing exceptional jobs to create opportunities. These speedsters as attackers.
Look at Kelly fly again off of Stewart. Hopeno gets it, playing in the right back position. Running right into a brick wall in Regi. Hopeno went low. Stewart deflected it down. Going up the line. And you'll get that whistle more often than you won't if it's Omar Bravo, the player down. They wanted to move quickly, and the official bringing it back.
He's showing some frustration there. I mean, he wants to capitalize on the momentum he has. I mean, no one's really prepared. He wants to take advantage, but it's tough to get called back, and then obviously it slows down the pace of the game again.
How about Omar Bravo? When you take a foul in that position, you allow your whole team to flip the field, right?
Yeah, but he saw an opening. Maybe he saw a through pass that maybe would be advantageous for his team. But I would agree. It's probably best if he let the ball to a midfielder and he pushed up and maybe linked up in a different position.
There are a lot of things Omar Bravo sees on a field that I don't.
Yeah, me too. I would agree.
Sometimes it just feels like the difference between like Bob Ross and Pablo Picasso. It's just not a fair comparison of artistic talent.
Hey, Bob Ross. We grew up on Bob Ross. You might be younger than I am, but Bob Ross is a superstar.
It's a picturesque view here, but I'm not even sure Bob Ross could totally encapsulate Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex tonight.
Bob Ross.
Yeah. There's some mountains in the pregame shots we had there.
He would draw those.
He would draw those. And maybe some happy trees, too, as Hopeno steps in.
Just too long there. But Reno's really trying to, link up their star players. It seems that the best way for them to reach their full momentum is when they are at full speed and they're going on the flanks and they're getting touches in with their crosses. When you have players like Kelly, who's on fire, everything that he touches is potentially going to get a proper shot or even a goal. So it makes sense for them to really link up with him constantly.
Well, Joseph Dickerson is playing mediator right now. Comes down to Cortez. Bravo did well to set him up for the ball. Vasquez. And now Cortez. He'll give this a ride himself. Wright Phillips. That goes over the defender, Colvey. Slightly different hop, and we're talking about Wright Phillips rifling that towards net.
Speaking of Wright Phillips, I mean, if you go back 10 years watching him play for Chelsea in the Premiership, to think that, you know, him linking up with a player like Didier, obviously, and Bravo in one team in the same league, I mean, that's unheard of. That's incredible for the U.S. soccer and for the development of all our players and the league nationwide.
And this Phoenix market right now is bursting at the seams in excitement. Another 7,000 plus sellout in terms of tickets out for this game. Standing room only tickets were going this morning.
Our question is in the locker room, who's the true leader there between these veterans? I would assume that Didier comes in and he's going to top the other two, Sean Wright and Omar Bravo, but still, they bring such presence to all these youngsters that to really reflect on their experience that it's priceless when it comes to Phoenix.
And yet it's Ramage right now who's wearing that captain's armband, a guy who's been around the franchise a little bit longer. There's a lot of experience, and if everybody decides to play nice,
sure,
this is a locker room that could be just as potent in there as it is out here.
Oh yeah, and that's a contender for this league.
Gray, that's towards the net and ultimately carried away for Reno.
That was a dangerous ball there, but yeah, back to what I was saying. I mean, if you look and you put all these teams, these players together, and they really link up for a whole season, and they're cohesive, and obviously they know when they mesh well, you have a top 5 contender for the season.
That's the expectation around these parts. A couple of wins in a row, and they're feeling pretty good. 6 goals in the last 2 games, but just a little bit shell-shocked at the outset here. As the ball caroms down to Chris Wean. Back now from Feka. Reno pushing forward in the 31st minute, maybe their best possession of the game, but they turn it over. Slid away from Regi. Lifted into space for Vasquez. And Reno controls. Hey, soccer fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. .32 minute. Mike Watts, Albert Munoz, our SAP partners, available in Spanish. Director Tom Piro, producer Alex Goldstein, glad to have you with us on what is a steamy night in Phoenix. But it's Reno, the team that's on fire early. Reno, the expansion team in the league, and the only one that uses its founding year in its title, 1868. The only American club at any level to do that. Josh Cohen. Line that over Cortez, who's pointing for a Phoenix throw that did deflect off of Colby. Taking on the defense one man at a time. Sliding down, and A.J. Gray doesn't get the benefit of the call.
Mike, let's talk possession for a second. I mean, what do you think is the balance here between the two teams? I mean, we've seen equal opportunities on both sides. We've seen shots, we've seen attempts. Obviously, we've seen a couple goals, but I'd say that Reno has improved. Sorry, Phoenix has improved in the last 15 minutes after the first couple of goals that they had. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. And Reno's passing is at 78%. They're top 10 in the league in passing. It's no surprise that they're knocking the ball around with success.
That's so important, to hold the ball well and possession involved, especially in your midfielder section. It's almost, I'd say, as important as scoring a goal.
Almost.
I mean, yeah, almost. Obviously, scoring a goal is much more important, but ultimately, if you can't hold the ball well, then you're not creating opportunities. You're going to play a breakaway game, and that's not cohesive either for a season developing team.
No, a bit of chicken in the egg, isn't it?
Right. That is. It is. But ultimately, scoring a goal is the goal, right?
Reno pushing into the final third, and the flag was up on the other side. Chris Weehan does not agree. Played at the University of New Mexico, trialed with Reno in February, and number 14 in gray now part of the equation as a starter for the third time in his first pro season. Cohen delivers it downfield. The USL is one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talent and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information by visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on the Twitter at USL. All the highlights found there on Twitter in real time. Great stuff from Nicholas Murray and the editorial team over at uslsoccer.com and all the work they're putting in.
Speaking of technology, Mike, I mean, how important is it for you know, the youth, the fans, the players, everyone involved to have such high technology nowadays where you could actually follow highlights, you know, recap, you know, you literally have everything accessible on a phone. So that's so important for the development of any league, of any player, and the involvement of our fans. We didn't have that 15 years ago. I mean, so it's a huge difference for every aspect of professional sports.
No, and spoke about it on Sirius XM on Monday night. There's a game on all the time. There's always a game on YouTube. It's incredible with this league right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of games, a lot of activity, a lot of energy, a lot of potential improvement from all these 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds that are getting minutes week after week. That's something that's crucial for any player that wants to obviously aspire to continuously improve their game. And any team that wants to improve, obviously, is going to have those type of players continuously getting the reps. And the fact that they could actually go watch tape, they could watch themselves online, they could see their highlights, they could obviously follow themselves. Any social media aspect, it's going to be very beneficial.
Make no mistake, it's a big reason why there have been 3 ESPN top 10 plays in the 3 weeks of the USL Game of the Week. As Cortez taps that ball to himself, he fires! Oh, it would have been spectacular if he had found a way to keep that down.
He saw himself by himself. He didn't have anyone to support him. So you know what? Let's set himself up with a volley, touch it to the right-hand side, and he took a whack at it.
What's that hand up? What's that mean for a guy giving it a good college try?
I'm sorry, but in slang, it's my bad. That's all it is. But you're not really apologizing because you took a shot. But at the end of the day, you want to look at your team and say, I might have passed it to you, but no, I'm sorry, I took a shot. That's all it is. It's courtesy.
It's a colloquialism. My
bad. Exactly. I used to do that all the time. A lot, actually. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so selfish and taking a shot.
Mike Watts with Albert Munoz, MLS wonder kid at one point in time, who at a time did indeed apologize on a regular basis. Reno is nearly stretched out a bit there. It's coming all the way back. Phillips returns to his position. Nearly 500 appearances in the English Premiership.
Incredible.
Most recently playing with his brother at Red Bull New York. Bradley Wright Phillips, this ball all the way across, nearly skipped onto the foot of Cortez. But ultimately it is a corner for Phoenix.
What I always found impressive about Sean Wright was his size. I mean, let's be honest, he's 5'5", 5'6" at most. Playing in the Premiership, one of the most brutally competitive leagues in the world. I mean, to play 500 games plus, I mean, that's exceptional. It's impressive.
Bravo decided to go quickly there. The service wasn't quite on frame. And Cortez swings down in the box, and Joseph Dickerson pointing for a throw. Have an opinion on that?
He's not having it. That wasn't.
No?
I don't think that was suffice to be called as a penalty kick.
Cortez behind the defense again, aimed for Bravo, bounces all the way to the top. Regi, save, kicked away. Bersano getting low, and it's cleared out.
Well struck by Regi. He couldn't have hit it any better. I mean, that was a great job on the goalie from Reno, Bersano, blocking that shot. Great attempt, though.
Stewart. Reno scored 2 quickly. Phoenix trying to get one back before the break. And Wright Phillips involved this a moment ago.
As we see Cortez crossing the ball, and we have the deflection, the bicycle kick deflection. What a lead up. I mean, chest down, perfect volley. He timed it well. Exceptional attempt by the Phoenix midfielder Regi.
Did you see that ball take one extra hop before he struck it? Is that how you prefer to take that shot?
Yes, when it's bouncing, you want to lead up to it. You want to get it on the bounce up. You put a chest over it, and you get that wonderful strike. You have more power with that type of shot.
And that's why I never scored.
It is one of the most difficult shots of time, I'll be honest. But once you hit it right, it's almost guaranteed to go into some kind of powerful shot.
Yeah, mission accomplished there. Brown threw his arms out, and now he gets the ball played to his feet. Met by Vasquez, keeps the ball, and winds off towards the corner. Hopino. Kelly did well to keep that in play.
No.
Flag up there is the interchange from Infeka, beg your pardon, and Hopino.
That was a tight call. Even Coach Russell was irate on that one.
Cortez, numbers streaming forward in red, and Brown, the foul on Cortez. Is this the magic night for Reno1868 FC, where they finally break through, get that first franchise win? Watson. Cortez just a little too far out in front of Vasquez.
Could this be the night? I would say they deserve it. Reno has been exceptional on possession. They've capitalized on a couple well-struck shots by Kelly. I mean,
Regi, Cortez, back down the middle. Rooney to his left by Bersano.
Rooney stepped up. I hadn't seen him in a few minutes. Came up with a great touch and shot. So we need of the Englishman. I mean, he needs to be more involved in that sense. Going forward, I mean, he's reserving himself. It seems like he's obviously pacing his touches. He's not constantly on the ball, but when he does appear, he does this type of magic. This is what we need from the number 10.
It's worth noting, there's a lot of sweat there. There was a planned hydration break that apparently was called off as the sun setting has done well to knock some degrees off the thermometer at field side. Hopino for Bersano. Gray. Wright Phillips. Gray circling around, but Wright Phillips choosing to go back. Vasquez. Regi. Not enough on the pass between the two.
Get him out wide! AJ!
Rooney plays it through. Wright Phillips looking for Bravo. Neither the two have scored, and yet they each lead the team in chances created with 8 apiece.
Phoenix's ideal situation is to get a goal here right before half. That will change the momentum and the mentality going into the second half after that pep talk in the locker room.
Wow, from Cortez. Bravo. Ripped away by LaGrassa. Kelly into space. Flag stays down. The race is on. Stepping forward, saved by Cohen. Net is open. Whoa! Stewart getting back to the line, and Brown denied twice.
I thought that was in by Brown. What an incredible stop by Stewart. But great lead up by Reno. I mean, it looked like it was offside in that pass from Kelly. Beautiful placed pass with his left foot. But Brown on the one-on-one, ricocheted off the goalie. Great attempt. And then that second shot.
Brown. LaGrassa, the spin. Wright Phillips takes it away. A little bit of ball magic himself. Cortez. Can a goal line clearance like that still bring you a little momentum before the half?
Oh, of course. Look at this. This is the lead up.
Regi. Bravo. Lifts the ball across. 2 minutes of stoppage time for Reno. Can't come fast enough. Kelly sprints into position. Kelly to his left. He cut it back across and misfired on a potential first half hat trick.
Yes, you can get a lot of momentum from this type of save here from Stewart in the backline. This is the type of situation you want from your defender. Look at that. Agility, that was great.
Stewart, 35 years old, was looking a bit like a spring chicken out there.
Oh, wow. That's a veteran in my eyes. 35 years old. But you know what? He, like you said, he plays like a 28-year-old. Probably takes care of himself really well. At 35, Mike, coming from a 35-year-old, you need your stretching. You need to drink a lot of water.
There's some 35-year-old players that can't tie their own cleats anymore. Second minute of stoppage time in the first half. Opino, LaGrassa in that central midfield role. Spinning it up the left-hand wing for Colby. No expense spared by Phoenix in the energy department in the final seconds of this first half.
It'll be interesting to see if both teams occupy their 3 subs in the second half. I would assume that they're going to give it their all for the first 60, 70 minutes, and then respectively they'll start making your subs accordingly.
This is a Reno side still without their captain, Nick von Niederhausen. Other than that, these teams more healthy than not. Stewart steps in, stops the attack, and Reno scores bang bang, second and 6th minute. What did you like from Phoenix after that fact?
Well, the reaction, I mean, they definitely stepped up. They know they could play. I mean, they have a lot of attacking talent. And Stewart and Ramage, sorry, in the back, they're playing well. So they have a lot of opportunities in the second half coming up. They have plenty of time. There's no need to panic for their side.
Whenever we're ready to go.
It's just Reno essentially scoring 2 goals on the top. I mean, it's very tough.
Dane Kelly scores 2. Goal in the second, goal in the 6th. He's got 52 United Soccer League goals now. That is the most of any USL player.
Goals. 3-4-0 is a very big different story from 2-0.
There's Dane Kelly. 52 USL goals now. Just seems like the number goes higher and higher every time he touches the field. Last time he did it as a sub, this time as a starter. His second brace, 4 goals on the year. And we're underway. Phoenix in the red jerseys move left to right. It's the gray and blue of Reno. Right to left. Cortez. Rooney stepping by. And the ball played down to the feet. Jimmy Oxford, who's had a quiet day, the captain at center back has not had to make all too many plays. Whipped in again towards Cortez. Too far? And let out by Bersano.
We definitely see a change here on Phoenix, though. Right off the onset, they're attacking. They're going to try to create their opportunities. Down the flank, they had Bravo create a cross. They just need to connect better at the end of that final touch. It'll definitely make a difference, especially in the next 5 minutes. If they keep pressuring Reno, they might get a goal, and that would completely change the mindset of the game.
We heard Rick Schantz talk about it. This is his first game as a manager at the professional level. He was at the PDL level previously, and his numbers were outstanding. Kelly breaking through, pushing off of Gray, staying in play, and off of Cohen. He must have taken that off the noggin and out.
He just saved the goal. That was potentially going into the upper 90. Great pressure from Kelly. I mean, he outbodied a defender from Phoenix and then created a chance to score on the goal. But that was a great save here by Cohen, potentially with the face.
The ensuing corner kick, all the way across the face of goal, lobbed into the air towards Kelly. It's Ewell playing it low. Cohen picks it up, and the difference between Kelly breaking through that time and previous, and it's something that Rick Schantz mentioned before we kind of got here. Rick Schantz, rather, the interim head coach with Jose Bosch, said it was turnovers in the midfield. This time it was the long ball to Kelly that was not the product of a turnover.
Sure, I mean, you're going to see a lot of that type of play. I mean, it's very important to get the midfielders to control the game and not let any, obviously, developing plays through counterattacks. Plays that were developed towards Kelly in the first half, I mean, they're exceptional through balls. We really can't combat that. But that needs to be minimized so that Phoenix actually has a chance to continue to potentially score a goal in this second half.
Ramage did well to keep that away, and the ball finds Phoenix in an attacking position now. Cortez back now for Rooney. Dances by the defense, playing to the feet of Cortez, who spun around and tapped the ball right to Bersano.
I showed a little miscommunication there between Rooney and Cortez. I mean, Rooney has done well in the first few minutes to grab the ball, show his presence again, create a pass, or maybe potentially set himself up for a shot. Cortez thought he was going to keep running there for the through ball, a little wall pass action, but it didn't work out. But Cortez had a lot of activity in the first couple of minutes in the first half.
49th minute, and an opportunity now over Bravo. Ockford back out to midfield. Gray. EG lifted up by Watson. Vita Bravo. Here he goes. Cortez. Rooney. Space on the wing if he can utilize it. He does. Ball crossed in. Bravo setting up under it. Two players slide together for the ball. Bounds out. Gray. Watson. Phoenix pressing forward. Watson overlapping. Gray chooses to go to Cortez. And looking for a rip, it's Vasquez who knocks it over. Hey fans, at every Phoenix Rising home game during the 2017 season, two lucky fans are upgraded to sit in the best seats in the house. Courtesy of Pruitt's Fine Furniture, lucky winners not only enjoyed tonight's action in the most comfortable seats directly on the pitch, those luxury reclining chairs are going to be delivered to their home next week as a gift from Phoenix Rising FC and Pruitt's Fine Furniture. He's looking a wee bit lonely there.
How do I sign up?
Yeah, there's a seat for you. Get walking. Albert Munoz is about to be huffing it. We're going to find out just how good those lungs are now after all these years retired.
I just ran a 5K 2 weeks ago.
How'd that go?
It wasn't bad.
You got a number for that?
A 24-minute 5K.
Yeah, I'm still trying to finish that 5K you ran 2 weeks ago. 51st minute, and the player down here for Reno. Yeah, he's probably run about 5 or 6K.
Sure, taking a break. Deserves it.
That's right. And this Reno side coming off that 2-2 draw to Colorado Springs. They have a couple of home games coming up, 4 home games in their next 5. And Liam Russell said last week they're frustrated, the coaching staff frustrated as we see the injury here as Brown colliding.
Yeah, he looked like he got knocked from the back. He should be fine.
As he pops back up. Brown the assist on the second goal by Dane Kelly, but after that point, he said it's late chances and corner kicks, but he felt like the best performance of the season for Reno came last game against Colorado Springs. They didn't get the result they wanted, but it appears to have set the table to make a better performance out of it in this game, as Brown will actually check out. Mackenzie Pridham will come on in his stead.
It's an early change. Brown has had an exceptional showing. Maybe they're resting him for the next potential game. Aside from potential injury, I'm not sure why we're making a change this early.
Pridham coming on, former Sacramento player, trialist there. 58th pick in the 2014 MLS Super Draft to Vancouver. Bouncing around the West Coast now as Kelly goes down.
Prudence, you think it is? Sub him out this early on for Brown?
And it makes you wonder, Pridham seemed ready before Brown went down. It makes you wonder just how planned that was.
Right.
For Brown, that's only his second start of the year, and he's only played 137 minutes, and in this case, Dan Kelly is offside. Turn for Wright Phillips. Ball squares past him. Comes now to Ewell and into the back line. Hey fans, stay up to date on the latest USL news and information from around the league. Tune into USL Coast to Coast, Mondays 9 p.m. Eastern on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. Don't forget, Sirius XM FC airs the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Colvey. Backtracking for Reno side, holding a lead since the 2nd minute and a 2-goal lead since the 6th. A little redirection from Wien. Colvey.
Reno's goal here is to keep possession well. I mean, they're opening up the fields, looking for crosses, looking for any opportunity to capitalize on a 3rd goal.
Pridham, a little unlucky. That didn't take the hop he was looking for. And there was an opening there for Hoppino. Flag up for offside as a Cohen goes sliding in. Kelly will not get his 3rd goal of the game there.
That was just for practice. Just make sure he would put it in if it was actually onside.
Does he need practice?
Practice? Talking about practice?
Dane Kelly isn't talking about practice. He's talking about the game he loves. He almost got another practice right there.
That was dangerous. It was all planned.
Yeah. Lulled into a false sense of security there by Kelly.
Now that I saw Bravo touch the ball, I haven't seen him touch the ball much in this game in general. I wonder why he's been silent. I mean, he's a player that's always been very loud. He's always been very present in his past with Chivas. I mean, he was an exciting player. I really hope he steps his game to really mesh well with his attacking teammates, because he could be very, very dangerous when he has a chance.
Yeah, and he leads the team in chances created according to Opta, and that's great. But you are looking for him to come through with goals, and it feels like a matter of time. You're just surprised it hasn't come yet.
Right. Good point. He's the type of player that once he scores 1 or 2 goals, he gets that momentum, and then he goes on a rampage and scores 5 or 6 in the next couple of games.
And the team scored 6 goals in the last 2 games, and both Wright Phillips and Bravo did not score. It's eye-opening how good they could be with all cylinders rolling.
Interesting.
And there he is. He tracking back all over the ball. He looks like a guy who really does want to be on the ball right now, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Regi. Wires crossed. Hopino watches it out. Hopino back to being a 90-minute man like he was at Princeton. When he was in Philadelphia, even much of the year in FC Cincinnati last year, he was a man who came off the bench late in games. At the outside back position in this game, he finds himself the starter. Ewell. Pridham. Stewart colliding in. Gray fell down. Question is whether or not they can recover when as it slid away from him.
Regi's an exciting player. I mean, he's showed a lot of attacking prowess, linking up with Watson in the midfield. Watson, a good central defensive midfielder who sets up play for Rooney. Definitely needs to step up a little bit and show his worth a little bit more so that Phoenix could get more of an attacking flow going.
Attack coming for Reno, and at the last moment as that ball was reaching its final destination, it was curled off the side of the net. Up the line for Bravo. He's able to hold up play. Here's Colby, his 5th start of the year. Another one of those Cal Poly guys. Nice run through from Kelly. And that had to be perfect from Stewart, and it was right on the edge of the area.
Such a dangerous player. He's so exciting to watch. I mean, his speed, his strength, I mean, he puts it all together, and he gets a shot, he will capitalize. And his energy hasn't come down at all. It doesn't seem like he's going to slow down. I mean, in the next 30 minutes or so, you never know, but he looks like he's going to play the full 90.
Corner for Reno. That was a ambitious effort. You know, this is a Reno side that had 6 goals through 6 games coming in. 4 of those were off-headed efforts. And while both goals tonight have come from Dane Kelly's foot, left and right respective, Reno is a dangerous side on those set pieces when you have targets like they have.
They got to use it to their advantage. I mean, the aerial strength that they have, I mean, they got to create a lot of crosses. And yet, I haven't seen them do a lot of crosses so far.
Phoenix will be making a move. And there's Avila, his first appearance for Phoenix Rising. Coming on for Luke Rooney at the hour mark.
For Phoenix Rising FC. Entering the match is number 30, Eric Avila.
Interesting move, taking out Rooney, who is the attacking midfielder, the heart of the team. It must be fresh legs, allowing Avila to come in and show his energy. Interesting to see what's going to develop from this change.
He really has been buzzing in those first couple of seconds. He's showing all over the field. Bravo looking to throw. Cross-field pass, a little bit too far. That. Throw for Hopino. Avila last for Tampa Bay Rowdies. Played his college ball at UC Santa Barbara, 30 in red. Played through for Phoenix, and that coming back for Cortez.
It looks like Reggie's going to tuck in the middle with Watson. And they're going to push out Avila to the far right-hand side.
Cortez a bit unlucky there. Hey fans, Nike is an official sponsor of the United Soccer League. For more information, visit NikeSoccer.com. Maybe time to go to Phoenix Rising website and get that Drogba jersey you've been waiting for, too. He is not in the 18 tonight. He will be wearing that vaunted number 11 jersey, which means Chris Cortez is the unlucky man who switched from 9, Bravo took it, to 11, Drogba took it, to number 7.
I wonder if he had to pay for it.
That's my question.
I've heard of that before, actually. Actually, I'll tell you a story. Freddie Adu, when he came into the league, he wanted number 11 from Alesko Eskandarian. And I've heard he had to pay him a substantial amount to get his number swapped. So it happens.
Do you think he wants that money back?
No comment. But yeah, I would concede. I mean, Didier comes in, and yeah, I mean, that shouldn't be a problem.
I don't know. That one's on the house.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if there's some kind of financial contract there.
I don't know. I'd get a selfie from Drogba and call it a win. Towards Avila. Well, fans waiting for that moment where Phoenix can draw one closer. Reno has taken the air out of the building a bit earlier than anticipated. Goals in the 2nd and the 6th. Phoenix has had their chances. Gray out to Avila, and he thought maybe Gray was going to combine with him there. Off the chest to Pridham. Kelly was moving forward. Pridham keeps the ball and slid away by Gray. And Feka. There he is.
Feka showing a lot of energy. He's an exciting player to watch. He is quick with the ball. Shows a lot of promise here on the flank. Reno has so many entertaining players. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, you have the combination play between Feka and Haben on the right-hand side. I mean, that really shows promise for crosses, like you mentioned before. They really have a lot of aerial prowess. So I see them during the week training for these type of plays, which reflect in these games.
And then you got your Brown and your Kelly and your Pridham. It really is a very talented roster.
It's deep.
Pridham was the target. He may have been offside. It's irrelevant in the end. Question is whether or not Phoenix can make anything of it. Reggie for Cortez. Ball taken away from him. Clipped by Reggie. Cortez tried to backheel it. Reggie not giving any ground, but ultimately grabbed the heel of Hapano, and it's a free kick to Reno.
Talk about name dropping, though. I mean, you were talking about Reno and their names. Talk about Phoenix and their names. I just looked at the lineup here. I mean, you're talking about Sean Wright Phillips, Omar Bravo, Rooney, Cortez, Didier Drogba when he plays. I mean, let's not discount Reggie and Watson in the midfield. They have a very, very stellar lineup, this Phoenix team.
These are both teams that have the talent on them. And whether or not you get where you're looking to go this year with all the changes year over year is an entirely different argument.
Right.
But Reno's a team where maybe you don't expect a lot because they're an expansion team, but they have guys who have won in this league before and won significantly.
That's incredibly important for a franchise. Not only that, but going down the season, moving through these games, getting these reps in, getting that team structure, the camaraderie. I mean, everything's going to come into place at one point, and it's going to show into excellent soccer. It's going to be quality.
Tack on here, and Fecka playing Kelly. He steps over, and he puts it in off the post. That is a hat trick in the 66th minute.
53 goals. What an exciting play by Kelly. What an exciting lead up by Reno. Incredible, incredible cut here. I mean, he took everyone out. I mean, what a final placement he made. He couldn't have hit it off the post any better. 3-0. I mean, this is going to be entertaining to see if Phoenix even has a chance to score a goal after this momentum from Reno.
Is this a yellow card worthy celebration?
Nope, not in my opinion. I used to do that all the time and never got a yellow for that.
Well, Dane Kelly does get a yellow for it, but he'll take it to go with his 3 goals tonight.
Has been issued by the referees.
How about Dane Kelly? Wow, oh wow, is he had a night. 2nd, 6th, and 66th.
What a finish. And Mike, the best part of that goal for me was the way he cut the ball. Not even the shot.
Yep.
Because we are expected a left-footed shot there. Everyone faked, obviously everyone thought. But the fact that he cut the ball so well, that was great to watch.
There's a chance for something special here. Deflects, and it comes Bersano.
Crucial minutes of the game. We're going into the 70th. What changes do we make here on both ends? I mean, it's tough to see any changes going to be made other than a defensive one for Reno. They're probably going to rest some legs. Obviously, we have high temperature. We probably have exhaustion coming in the next 5 to 10 minutes from some of the midfielder players. Maybe you rest some legs. Maybe you obviously give them a chance. Maybe you obviously give them a breather. That's my route I would take for Reno. For Phoenix, I would say maybe more on the line of maybe I mean, it's tough because they have such attacking talents that it's such tough to replace them other than being a little tired.
Towards Avila. He collects it again. Stewart. One would think if they go attacking substitution here, Mike Seth might be an option as Regi stepping through. Cortez deflected into the air. And also Jason Johnson, the Jamaican, with tremendous pace, available off the bench as well. Bravo. Wright Phillips. Going right into Ian Russell's bench. Cortez lifted that off the defender. That's Morel. Referee ceding the throw now to Reno after a bit of a protest. There's Colby, Hawaiian, grew up in New Zealand. Called up last year to the New Zealand national team while he was with Sacramento Republic, who won the Western Conference in the regular season. Tapano towards Kelly, whips the ball ahead. And here comes Kelly. Sometimes it's all going right, and then that happens.
And that does happen often, actually. That type of whiff, I mean, I don't know how else to call it, but a whiff. He showed great promise there with the momentum leading up to the right-footed lead up, but that left foot just gave up on him.
Somewhere under there, there's probably a banana peel or something. LaGrassa. Morel. Colby. Cross-field pass from LaGrassa, who's a little limp coming up from it. Ball played to the top of the area, won by Ramage. And back comes Phoenix. Over the top, Cortez. Saved by Bersano. taken by Wien. They advance the USL, one of the most prominent second division professional leagues in the world, featuring some of the game's top talents and rising stars. Stay up to date with all the latest league news and information visiting uslsoccer.com and follow them on Twitter at USL. If you follow at USL and you like the hashtag SCTop10, it's been a good month for you. Busy week, busy month. All dummied through.
Flip throw-ins, bicycle kick goals.
30-yard missiles. Goodness. And it's no wonder you hear every coach in this league comment that if you didn't get better in the offseason, you got worse because everyone else did. And this league is taking steps in spades right now.
Correct.
Vila has the ball knocked away. And you feel like things are going well if you're Phoenix coming into the game, and then the expansion team without a win comes in, blows the doors off in the first 10 minutes, and it's just another reminder there are no free spaces on the checkerboard that is the USL schedule. Wien. Up the wing, Pridham front running. Top of the area, and Feka. Pridham shoulder to shoulder with Stewart. Clears it out in the 73rd.
Reno's relentless. They're still creating opportunities. They're up 3-0 and they're still pressuring. I mean, I love that. I love to see that. I love the fact that they're not going to stop just because they're up 3-0.
On comes Junior Burgos, native of El Salvador. And that's enough hat trick tonight for Dane Kelly. He comes off goals 51, 52, and 53 of his tremendous United Soccer League career. And a reminder that he is just 26. On the other side, you see Jason Johnson, man out of VCU. Come on, EJ Gray, the outside back comes off, and it appears that this is where the cards get played by the Phoenix coaching staff.
Defensive move and attacking mood on Reno. Giving Kelly a rest, bringing in Burgos, who is a very skillful, attack-minded player, great with set pieces. So let's see what's in store for Reno for the last 15 minutes or so.
Turned over. And the foot race is on. Yellow card coming. Regi against Mfeka. Wait, it looked just like the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah. Both quick, very quick. Off to the races. That's a tough call. I mean, there was no ill intention on Mfeka there. I mean, it just happens to be speed, and they collided. But there was an attacking play for Phoenix, so he deserves a yellow there, fortunately for him.
Two of the smallest guys on the field. Mfeka is 5'5", and they list Regi at 5'4".
Wow, that is small for soccer standards. 5'6" is typically the shortest you see. Well, Sean Wright Phillips is a 5'5", 5'6" player, I think.
As he just floated that ball in. They call him 5'6".
Yeah. I feel tall next to them. I'm 5'7". Or so I think.
Don't tell me you use the elevator studs. Ball finds Cohen. Mike Watson, Albert Munoz, former MLS player. Well, he is. I'm not. Watson dancing by Burgos. Regi, no quitting him. Ball taken away. Here's Burgos. Started last time out. This is his second time off the bench. Played in all games but one so far for Reno. Sliding in. Matt Watson making his 5th start as Phoenix still some games in hand. Reno can climb within 1 point of them if they can hold on and grab 3 points tonight. And Fecka pushing in on Watson. And Fecka playing top of the box. Win! 4-0 to Reno in the 77th minute. And Wien has his first professional goal.
And it doesn't stop for Reno. They just keep on coming, creating opportunities, and this is the result of their hardworking and disciplined play. So much talent, so much creativity on their end that they just continue to have these opportunities lead up. Excellent finish. I mean, he had a lot of pressure from his defenders coming in, and even Cohen had a touch on it, but excellent finish, 4-0. We can't ask for more for Reno.
Well, you were part of MLS when it started. You saw every team gradually get their first win as an expansion franchise. What's it like when that moment comes to you? Because for Reno, this is now 5 games in the works, now a 6th. And they look close as that ball bounds through and results in a corner. Looks like Reno finally is going to have that magic moment.
Well, it's going to be overwhelming for them. I mean, they're going to ride on that wave. I mean, it's going to be momentum for them. It's going to allow them to really, catapult themselves to get confidence. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. Once you get the confidence going and you get the juices going, everything comes into place for a team. So it's so important to get that first goal, the first win. It's going to be ever-changing for them for the rest of the season.
Wright Phillips allows Vila to take it. Burgos able to keep the ball. Now he's one-on-one with Vasquez. Lobs from distance. Boy, if he had put that on target, he would have scored it.
I would have done the same thing. He had 2 players to pass the ball to, but you know what? It's 4-0. Almost end of the game. I have the chance. I have the run. I have the momentum. Let's go ahead and take this shot. Because if I get to score this goal, it's a highlight goal.
Where's David Villa when you need him?
Exactly.
Steven Dos Santos did it as well. Johnson tried to cut that across the grain. Regi nodded out by Morel. Ball appeared to get out on the far touchline, and substitution now for Phoenix as they make their 3rd and final sub. And on comes Mike Seth, who started the opener against Toronto and went 62 minutes, but has not played since. Comes on for Chris Cortez, who again is dangerous, but this time does not find a goal.
I applaud Cortez. I mean, even though his team's down, he did put a max effort. He did create a lot of opportunities. He took a lot of his shots. He held the ball well, which I like about him. He uses his strengths. Obviously, he's a tall, strong player, but obviously he needs some rest tonight. He's not going to be able to accomplish much else tonight.
Ramage appeared to get the defender there.
Ball then defender, defender and the ball there.
Well, this is about the moment where things changed last week between Swope Park and Phoenix, and ultimately Swope Park grabbed 3 back, but Phoenix's 4-0 lead was enough to hang on. Unclear if that spark will come for Phoenix before we're done. Bravo trying to get that second ball in.
A little bit of a frustrating night for Omar Bravo. Hasn't really been able to connect well. I mean, his touches have been on, but he hasn't been able to create any shots for himself. We need him to really take action and try to capitalize on shots to score. He does know how to create well. He obviously knows how to score, but I'd say overall tonight he's had a bit of a quiet night.
Burgos down by Vasquez, and that may be a bit of frustration, although I don't think Vasquez meant to do it all that much at either. Two players colliding. Pridham gets the ball. Slid it back. Cleared by Phoenix Rising. Seth on the back of Morel. Pridham pointing forward. He's in an offside position, and so back it goes for him. Fecca. And now LaGrassa.
This is what it needs to do. I mean, you have less than 9 minutes left. You want to make sure that you're holding the ball. Burgos is a key player when it comes to this. He's essentially a ball handler. He knows how to keep the momentum going, but possession. Possession is going to be key for Reno for the last few minutes.
Morel. Burgos. El Salvadoran. Off to the corner here, still with 8 minutes to go. Wins the throw for Reno. Didier Drogba not in the 18 tonight. The superstar from several major clubs in Europe. Chelsea, perhaps most notable. Galatasaray as well, and Turkey stands out. He will look to debut next time out at home against Oklahoma City in a couple weeks' time. But for Reno, they struck quickly. They struck with intensity. 3 goals from the same man, Dane Kelly. And it looks like they've struck for their first win in the United Soccer League. The last in the league this year for that. I'm not sure it'll get any better for any fan base than it's about to be for Reno in this moment.
Ladies and gentlemen, the attendance for tonight's game is 6,067. Phoenix Rising FC and Reno.
Just shy of a sellout being announced.
Thank you for attending.
For tonight's attendance, Drogba unlikely set to debut in that OKC game. We can expect 7,000 or so again. As Reno will go back to their bench, and we think back to how this game developed. Dane Kelly, the all-time leading goal scorer in the USL. 3 different ways of scoring here.
Oh, and he showed his class. I mean, first goal with the right foot, penetrating shot, deep down, left-footed shot. Second goal, same style of a goal. And then the third one, you have a class cut, and then the placement in the post. I mean, you can't ask for anything more from your striker.
Number 2, Jackson Yule.
Goals in the 2nd, 6th, and 66th minute. Dane Kelly. A shocked silence at Phoenix Rising Soccer Complex when he had that second. Anibal Echeverria has come on in his 3rd substitute appearance. Native of Reno. Jackson Yule, the player who came off. About 5 minutes to play in regulation.
Reno's going to look to possess the ball now. Look for Burgos, who's fresh. He has the ball now. He's essentially going to try to hold the ball, create maybe a set piece or 2, maybe get a free kick, get some reps in. But look to him to hold the ball up top while we draw the clock here in the last 5 minutes.
There he is against Regi. And now he cuts along the end line. Vasquez. Away from Johnson, trying to connect with Seth. Colvey. Looking for that flag. There it is. Ramage willing the call. Pridham offside. Avila goes back. Phoenix Rising returns home on the 13th to take on Oklahoma City Energy. They're scuffling a bit. Then it's off to take on San Antonio on the road on the 20th of May. Team with 7 wins and a draw through 8 games. The class of the Western Conference at this stage of the game. Up at Toyota in Texas. Attack coming on for Reno, broken up by Johnson.
Excellent touch there by Mfeka. Quality player. I mean, he really knows how to open the ball. He sees, he has vision. He's been commanding the midfielder for Reno in the last half.
It's interesting to me because he's, what, 5'5" is how he's listed. And he doesn't seem to make all that many attacking plays. And he drew your eye pretty early in this game.
Have you heard of Xavi from Spain?
Yes.
Exactly the same style player. He's the guy that he's 5'5", 5'6". He doesn't need size in the style of his play, but he creates continuity. He's obviously getting the momentum going from the onset in the midfielder. So he doesn't need to go up. He doesn't need to, you know, spray any long balls. He's, as long as possessing the ball in the midfield, not losing it, and then playing it to his creative player, he's doing his job well done.
That is like the highest possible compliment.
Yeah, I really like his style. I mean, he's comfortable with the ball in any situation under pressure. I haven't seen him lose a ball since.
Burgos has Pridham running down the center. Burgos fired it right to Cohen. And Pridham, arms go up. There's some frustration there from the reserve striker.
It's a tight score. He really needed that ball to be crossed into him. I understand Burgos. I mean, he saw a chance. He has, you know, confidence in his right foot. So, I mean, he went for it.
Watson comes back towards Bravo. Player down for Reno in the middle of the box. Belongs to Phoenix. Morel helping up the captain, Ockford. Flag is up, offside, whistled against the Phoenix Rising during the final minute of the 90. Well, that is finally a side that will be able to claim victory in the United Soccer League. The fan base in Reno has been outstanding in these opening weeks, and they've been quite unlucky to not come away with a win. Tonight they do it in convincing fashion, and when you build a franchise from scratch, Dane Kelly is kind of the guy that you're looking for, the guy who poaches, the guy who scores, finishes. They aren't easy to come by. Reno got him, and he gave Reno their first win nearly single-handedly in those first 10 minutes.
He's a difference maker. I mean, he's the type of player you want to create a core around. He brings such experience and just a reflection of the score today. I mean, it's all him. It's obviously his leadership and his energetic scoring prowess. So good for Reno. I mean, acquisition-wise, I mean, incredible.
Couple minutes of added time as Dane Kelly getting a well-deserved blow at the end of the game.
Minimum of 2 minutes added in time in the second half.
As for Phoenix, coming off the bye week, a disappointing performance. Just a couple of turnovers turned the whole game on its head in the opening 5 minutes, and they never could quite recover. Their first game without Frank Yallop at the helm. Obviously, all the best to Frank, leaving for all the right reasons. Speaking over this past week with Rick Schatz, says he's been talking with him since he did indeed resign back on April 24th. His fan base a bit shocked by the fact that Frank Yallop stepped away, but it was the right time for him to do so. A couple wins in a row, the right time for his family. He had been commuting from California for the better part of 18 months, and everybody around the franchise, from ownership through the players, have acknowledged just how important he was to building this roster, building this club. And all our best to Frank, who, as broadcasters, made our lives quite easy in covering this franchise over the last couple of years.
Yeah, he has so much experience. I mean, I remember him many years ago. He's always been present in the leagues. And his influence, his experience that he brought to the franchise, he will be missed. But like everything else, there's a new beginning. There's a new opportunity to continuously improve. So as Phoenix shows here, I mean, they have a deficit today, most likely. But overall, their team, their quality of players, I mean, the franchise, it's ever growing.
Stewart races forward. Final seconds of stoppage time. Well, this is a moment for Reno they will not soon forget. Perhaps the wait makes it all the sweeter. Full time, Reno has won for the first time in the United Soccer League. It's a shocking win, only in the fact that it felt over